Hey guys, Ashley Francis here with Blue Sage Counseling and Wellness, and today's Mindfulness Minute is going to be focused on the concepts of extraction and contribution. So, this is a concept that I heard about the other day while listening to a podcast, and it really stuck with me. I thought it was really interesting the way it was laid out and explained, and it got me thinking about mindfulness and being present, and how it can be difficult to do that. I know for me personally, I can do well for a while, but then consistency has always been the biggest issue for me. So more specifically, when it comes to a meditation routine, it's really difficult for me to be consistent with that. And I have found that that is usually because I allow the chatter of my brain to take over. And if I'm trying to do a meditation early in the morning, all I keep thinking about are the thousands of things that I have to do that day. And it just takes me right out of it. But all the while, knowing that it is about consistency, it is about practice, and that the more that you do it, the whole idea is that it's restructuring your brain so it becomes easier, and it in fact does become more effortless. And I've experienced that before, but once you get out of the habit of it, the restructuring starts to become undone. You might go back to some default ways. And so that's been the biggest challenge for me. So, in terms of extraction versus contribution, so what we mean by that is the best metaphor to use is in terms of marketing and consumption. So, at any given time, we're being exposed to various forms of advertisement, whether that be social media or television or out in the community, flyers, posters, things like that. And the overall goal of companies is to get your money, right? They're trying to extract your money. But of course, it's not usually a very direct line. It's not as though they're going to say, hey, here's a product. We want you to use it. We want you to buy it. So give us your money. No, it's more complicated than that. There's psychology that is involved in marketing that is actually very complex. Good marketing is very complex as it pertains to psychology. So, in other words, it's a very strategic method of being able to extract out of you what it is that they need in order for you to make that purchase and to consume their products. So they're manipulating you. They are playing on your weaknesses. But they're also manipulating you according to your strengths. They're trying to build you up and make you feel good, and send you a message or appear to you with bright colors and beautiful images and beautiful people and happiness. And all that's a manipulation so that they can extract what they want out of you, and be able to leave what it is that they don't want, which is you saying no. So that's extraction. And then contribution would be the opposite side of that continuum. So contribution would be, what is it that I can give instead of determining what can be taken out? What is it that I can give to society? What is it that I can give to others? And at the heart of it, it's really about what is it that I can give myself? Those things like love and compassion and forgiveness and empathy. And marketing is not based on those things. It's not based on what is it that you can give yourself at the end of the day. It may be shrouded in that message in the way that they present it, but that is not the overall goal. They're trying to extract. So in a way, contribution goes against marketing efforts in consumption. They want you to buy into what they are selling and not to think for yourself. They want you to think like everyone else. So that's the distinction between the two. So how does this relate to mindfulness and meditation? Well, I think if we put this in terms of the self, it's pretty easy to see that we are consistently trying to extract things from others, whether that be through interactions or transactions, to be able to serve ourselves, to look good, to feel good. And it's through that extraction that manipulation starts to happen. And we get further and further away from our goals and our values. And we go on autopilot. We're basically being told by other people and other things how to think, feel, and act. And that's not good. That's not healthy. That is not a fulfilling, joyous life, because you're basically always looking for someone or something else to tell you what to do next. And that is not freedom. That's not freedom at all. So it is through meditation, it is through mindfulness, being very present and getting very clear on what are your wants and values, not your mom and dad's, not your therapist, not your teacher, not your neighbor, not your best friend. What is it that you want? And in order for you to get very, very clear on that, tools such as meditation are absolutely necessary. Why? Because it helps for you to set aside all of that clutter, to be able to look at things from a bird's eye view and be able to determine what fits and what doesn't. And then not only that, it also helps to provide some insight on how to go about removing those things from your life so that you can exclusively focus on the things that serve you and you get rid of the things that hinder you. And I'll say that I've been a lot more consistent with meditation lately. And that's the reason for this revelation. That's where all of this came from. If it's not for meditation, I have way too much clutter. I have way too much anxiety, way too much overthinking, and I get caught up in my feelings. And it makes it really hard to focus and to concentrate and to get really clear on what it is that I want and I need. So I encourage meditation for this very reason, to be able to, one, identify when you're in a mode of extraction and when you're in a mode of contribution. And when you're contributing to yourself, that's the best gift that you can possibly give. Once that starts to happen, then contribution just automatically starts to happen towards other people. It's a no-brainer. It's not even something that you think about, because you've tapped into what is the essence of humanity and our purpose for life, which is connection. So I'm curious to know what you guys have to say. What do you think about extraction and contribution, and how does it apply to your lives? So leave me some comments. I'd like to talk about it. Talk to you soon.